Hey, this is Shanshan. I'm the artist behind shanshan.co, and I do specials on eBay. Today I'm going to review Overlord. So Overlord is this fun movie about World War II on one side and horror film on the other. So, you know, the mission of the movie is there's this team of guys, Air Force, Army Rangers. So basically they fly over France and then parachute down. And they're sent to blow up this communication tower that's in a church tower that the Nazis have set up. And this communication tower runs like all the radar around the coast, so if they blow it up, it should make D-Day a lot more simpler. So the really nice thing about the film is they have all this nice World War II, you know, the personalities, the gear, the radios, the equipment to make the horror film. And it all feels pretty much real, like you're really in World War II, so that's really fun to have a historical setting to do a horror film. It's very unusual, and it adds a lot more mystery to it, like how are you going to kill these horror creatures if you don't even have modern technology, right? So that's a pretty fun part of the movie. A really interesting part is they have this language where they have English, German, and French. And sometimes they use subtitles, sometimes they don't. So that's really fun. I mean, I speak two of the languages, German and English. I used to know some French, but the French they all translate because that's on the Allied side. But when the Germans are speaking and they're not toe-to-toe right in speaking, they're not translating. And so as they're sneaking around trying to penetrate into this fortress in the church, they're speaking German, but they're not translating it. So, you know, anyone that's not a non-German native or doesn't speak German, they're going to be, you know, have the same feel the soldiers felt as you go in blind. You only speak English, you only speak your native tongue, and you're like, oh my God, we got to work around these guys. We don't even know what they're saying. Obviously, if you had spies or something, you would, but these are just kind of Army Rangers, so, you know, they're a little green. One of them speaks French, so they can kind of get around, and they meet these French villagers, and the French villagers are being kidnapped by these Nazis into the church tower. No one knows why. And they come up all, you know, they're running some kind of science experiment on them. And as you get deeper into it, you see that they're kind of, you know, like zombies or something. Not exactly zombies, more like Frankenstein. So it's kind of a Frankenstein reboot in a way. Really fun overall film. I think I had a really good build-up in the horror and the different shots and people that get, you know, turned into monsters, people that don't. So, you know, it's a lot of ethical questions obviously going on there. And, you know, the Nazis are pretty evil in this. But if you're running experiments on humans, you know, you don't have any, you don't have a strong ethical code, right? But, you know, humans, you know, like Procter & Gamble, they're experimenting in animals all the time, putting soap in the poor animals' eyes just so you can have babies no tear shampoo. It's like, are we any better? I don't know, guys. Especially if you look, say, in China where they're boiling animals alive and torturing them, you know, live animals, no code of ethics on animal rights. You're like, not really what you want to, you know, expect. But I think this movie has, you know, really good, fun plot line as World War II. And some of the personalities really come out. There's this Italian guy who plays poker, doesn't play baseball. And so his character is pretty fleshed out. The main character is pretty good too. They kind of gloss over probably the derogatory terms that they might have used in World War II. Like, it would have been a lot more racist, a lot more, you know, they would have just dropped, you know, the N-word, and they would have, if not that, they would have, you know, all these little nasty words they would have dropped. So they skimmed that out of the movie. So in that case, that's a really modern take on the 1940s. I don't think it would have been that way at all. Of course, if you bond during warfare, you're going to be, you know, brothers in arms, so to say. However, you wouldn't, you know, those terms would have still existed. They would have made fun of each other until they kind of bonded. So, and they do some of that in a generic sense. So that's okay. He doesn't necessarily need the racism as far as to make the film. So that's probably why they scrubbed it out, to get a bigger audience. And yeah, overall, I think it's a pretty fun film. Hope you guys like it. Give me a thumbs up. If you want to subscribe, you can subscribe below. And I'll see you in the next movie review. Thanks for watching, guys.